Daniel and Mira Lawson had been driving for hours. They left the city that morning, eager for a quiet road trip through the mountain. Newly married and still glowing with excitement, they laughed at bad roadside attractions, sang loudly to old songs on the radio, and shared snacks from a crumpled paper bag. But by the time the sun sank behind the dark hills, the road had become empty and unfamiliar. "Maybe we should stop somewhere for the night," Mira said, glancing at the nearly empty gas gauge. Daniel nodded. "Yet if we can find somewhere," as if summoned by the thought, an old neon sign flickered ahead through the fog. "Last Light Motel." Half the letters buzzed weakly. The rest were dark. The place sat alone beside the highway, surrounded by tall pine trees that swayed slowly in the wind. "Well," Daniel said, slowing the car, "it's something." Mira looked uncertain but shrugged. "It's better than sleeping in the car." They pulled into the gravel parking lot. The motel was a long, single-story building with peeling paint and dim yellow lights above each door. Inside the office, a bell sat on the counter. Daniel rang it. A moment passed, then another. From somewhere behind the wall came the sound of slow footsteps, dragging slightly. The door creaked open. The man who stepped out was tall and painfully thin. His skin looked pale and waxy under the fluorescent light. His hair was slicked straight back, and his smile seemed just a little too wide. "Evening," he said slowly. His voice had an odd, hollow quality. "We'd like a room for the night," Daniel said. Of course. The man leaned forward slightly, as if studying them very carefully. "You've come a long way." It sounded less like a question and more like a statement. Before Daniel could answer, another figure appeared behind the man. A woman. She was short and round, with large glasses that magnified her eyes strangely. Her hair was piled in a tight bun, and she held a clipboard close to her chest. "Travelers," she whispered with a small smile. "Yes," the man replied. "Travelers." The woman scribbled something on the clipboard. Daniel and Mira exchanged a quick glance. The man slid a key across the counter. "Room 7. He paused. "You'll sleep very well here." His smile widened slightly. The room itself was clean enough, though old. The wallpaper had faded flowers, and the lamp by the bed hummed faintly. Outside, the wind moved through the trees. Mira sat on the edge of the bed. "Did they seem weird to you?" she asked. Daniel chuckled lightly. "It's probably just one of those old family-run motels." But even he couldn't quite shake the feeling. Later that night, Mira woke to a sound. A soft crunch outside the window. Gravel. She sat up. "Daniel, do you hear that?" Daniel stirred groggily. The curtain moved slightly, as if someone had brushed against it. Mira slowly stepped toward the window and peeked through the gap. Her breath caught. Standing in the parking lot were the motel staff. Not just the two from the office. There were 5 of them now, all pale, all watching the room, perfectly still, as if waiting. Mira stepped back quickly. "Daniel," her voice trembled. "They're outside." Daniel got up and looked. The figures didn't move. Then the tall man slowly raised a hand and waved, slowly, deliberately. Daniel pulled the curtain closed. "Okay," he whispered. "That's not normal." Suddenly, the room phone rang. Both of them jumped. Daniel stared at it for a moment before picking it up. "Hello." The voice on the other end was the tall man. Calm, pleasant. "We hope everything is comfortable." Daniel said nothing. The man continued. Most travelers leave in the morning. A pause. But sometimes they decide to stay a little longer. Daniel slowly hung up the phone. Outside, the figures were still standing in the dark parking lot, watching, waiting. The motel sign flickered again. Last light. The word motel went completely dark. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more chills. We'll see you in the next one.